Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Game Changers Atlantic Rotary. I'm the president, Kathy Swicker, and I'm so excited that you're all here with us tonight. We have a great speaker coming up. And first, I will turn the meeting over to our Peace Chair, Anne Marie Collette.
Bonsoir, good evening, and special welcome to our guests this evening. Peace begins with each one of us right here in our hearts and in our minds. And to create a peaceful ambiance, I thought that we could take only a few seconds tonight to breathe deeply, to be more present to self and all of us here this evening. And feel free to close your eyes for the next few seconds. With your in-breath, breathe in peace by saying silently to yourself, I am peace. And on your out-breath, release what creates chaos in your heart or in your mind. So let's breathe in and let's breathe out. Once more. And our last in breath and out breath by repeating to ourselves, I am peace. And feel free to open your eyes. As you can see, just taking this small moment during the day can really shift our awareness and bring us back present into this peaceful state. Rotary envisions a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. And Rotary International has designated an annual theme this month, and it's called Peace and Conflict Prevention and Resolution Month. And our club, I'm very pleased to announce this, that our club will launch a 4-session parenting workshop called Raising Peaceful Kids in the Fredericton area this spring, beginning this spring. And we partnered with Tammy Villiers. She is an early childhood education specialist who is author of a book called Harmony Hare and Her Three Voices. This book will help parents and children to monitor their inner dialogue, creating more inner and outer peace. And yesterday, Tammy and I created a 3-minute video on this program. This video will be part of a Rotary annual event called The Sun Never Sets in Rotary. And that will be hosted for a period of 24 hours. And it will start, I'm not sure where it's going to start in the world, but Kathy could fill us in a little bit more because she's part of the organization for the Canada. We will have an hour, and Kathy is involved in that. But just to let you know that on February 23rd, you can start watching, and it's easy. It's a free event where you can register online, and I will post a link so that everyone can go on our Game Changers Facebook page, and we can register this way. It will start at 10 a.m. our time on February 23rd, and it will run for 24 hours. And our Canadian time will be aired at 5 p.m. on February 23rd. So let's try to be there and enjoy everybody who's going to have something valuable to share, and we can learn from one another in that way. So now I will introduce our guest speaker for this evening. I'm very pleased to announce Rawia Mokhtar. I hope I'm saying this right.
Correct.
Mokhtar,
Yes.
as our Rotary Peace and Conflict Resolution Month speaker. Rawia is an Egyptian Canadian community leader, project manager, and humanitarian advocate. She currently serves As the president of Manarat Association for Community Services, a non-profit organization dedicated to community empowerment, inclusion, and humanitarian support inspired by Islamic values. With over 20 years of professional experience as project manager across Egypt and Canada, Rawia brings a unique blend of technical expertise, leadership, and values-driven service. As an immigrant to Canada, she understands firsthand the challenges and opportunities faced by newcomer families and is deeply committed to building bridges between communities. Rawia is practicing and is a devoted Muslim whose faith shapes her approach to leadership, ethics, and social responsibility. She was profoundly inspired by and actively participated in the Arab Spring and the Egyptian Revolution, experiences that strengthened her belief in justice, dignity, and the power of collection action. She has been heavily involved in charitable work, particularly in supporting humanitarian and aid efforts in conflict zones, and is especially passionate about women's empowerment and economic resilience. Her work focuses on creating sustainable income opportunities for families, with a strong interest in supporting small and medium-sized businesses. For Rawia, Islamic identity is reflected in being skilled, knowledgeable, ethical, impactful, using faith as a foundation to contribute meaningfully to society and to serve others with compassion, integrity, and purpose. Please join me in warmly welcoming Rawia Mokhtar.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here today and inviting me to talk to you. Before I begin, I would like to dedicate this talk to scholars and teachers of Islam who have spoken about peace, justice, and moral responsibility, and who have paid a personal price for doing so. Many of them remain imprisoned simply for expressing ideas rooted in conscience and nonviolence. This dedication is a reminder that peace is not only an idea we discuss, but a value that some people live by, even when it comes at a greater cost. Uh, when we hear the word peace, most of us think about the absence of war, conflict, or violence. Although many people don't know much about Islam, but everyone understands the desire for peace. My hope from this talk to you today is to create understanding, reflection, and dialogue, because dialogue in itself is an act of peace. Peace is much more than just the absence of conflict and violence. It's something much more deeper. It's more personal. It is about peace in ourselves, the inner peace, peace in our relationships, and peace in how we live together despite of our differences. Today, I want to talk to you about peace in Islam, not in a theological or an academic, from an academic or theological perspective, and not to convince anyone, but simply to share a human perspective. Let's first start with what does Islam mean from a linguistic point of view? Islam comes from, you can see my arrow, right? No? Okay. Islam comes from the root word SLM, Silm in Arabic. I wrote the Arabic words and the English translation. So Silm is the root word for Islam. It is also the root word for the Arabic word Salam, Salam means peace in English. So Salam and Islam both come from the same root word, silm. Islam means to seek peace through conscious surrender to God. This is the meaning of Islam. Not surrender in political sense, but surrendering ego, injustice, and harm. And because the two words are almost synonym, Islam and Salam, Muslims every day greet each other by saying, Assalamu alaikum, or peace upon you. This is how we greet each other. This is our hi, peace upon you. This greeting is not a formality. It's a reminder, a daily reminder, that peace is the starting point of every interaction. Now we are
Rawia,
going to, yes?
Rawia, did you have a slide presentation? Did you say, can we see something? And you
Oh,
said, did
I
you say?
haven't shared at all.
No.
I thought I was sharing. Oh my God.
Okay, so if you go right down to the bottom of your screen where
No,
it
no.
says
I
share
can.
and just put up on the green thing, there we go.
Okay, so let us see what we skipped so far.
Okay, if you
This
can
is why I asked about
catch.
the arrow. So yeah, we covered. So this was my the title of the presentation: Peace in Islam, more than the absence of a conflict.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where we stopped. This is the root word,
Great. Thank you.
SLM, silm, and this is the root word for both Islam and Salam. And from the two words come the Muslim greetings, which is Assalamu alaikum, or peace upon you. Just want to, okay, I can see you all now. Okay. So in the next slide, I will talk to you about the different angles of peace in Islam. The first angle is that the inner peace is or comes before outer peace. In Islam, the peace begins with uh, peace inside the individual. So arrogance, envy, hatred are all seen as inner conflicts that eventually will spill out into the society. The Prophet Muhammad said, the strong person is not the one who can empower others, but the one who can control themselves when angry. This shifts peace away from dominance and towards emotional and moral strength. Many modern peace movements today focus on external systems, organizations, treaties, laws. Islam agrees with all of these matters, but insists that peace cannot exist or succeed without your inner transformation and your own control of all these feelings that will create conflicts within you and will spill out to the society. So self-control, following ethics, and be accountable to your action is more important and comes first before you seek the outer peace. What about the outer peace? What about the peace with others? Justice in Islam is seen as foundation for peace. Peace is impossible without justice. Quran says, stand firmly for justice, even if it's against yourselves or those close to you. Peace is not silence in Islam in the face of wrongdoing. It's fairness, accountability, and dignity for all. But remember, here comes mercy. Mercy is also important and comes parallel with justice. Mercy is important and comes over revenge. One of the most repeated attributes of God, Allah, the name of God in Islam is Allah. One of his most repeated attributes in the Holy Quran is he is the most merciful. Mercy is not weakness, it's restraint, it's forgiveness, and choosing reconciliation whenever possible. So, in our relation with the others, two important cornerstones: justice and mercy. And as a famous story in Islam for forgiveness is when Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him, when he returned to her home city, Mecca, after years of persecution, exile, and war, he had full power to take revenge. Instead, when he saw his enemies, former enemies, he told them, "Go, you are free." This moment is remembered in Islamic history as one of the strongest examples of peace through forgiveness. How Islam talks about peace with non-Muslims. Islam does not teach peace only within its own community. The Quran states clearly, God does not forbid you from being kind and just toward those who do not fight you. God does not forbid you from being kind and just toward those who do not fight you. The Quran also states, the Quran is our holy book, of course, there is no compulsion in religion. Non-Muslims lived, worked, and worshipped under Muslim rule for centuries, often with legal protection of their religion's institutions. Conflicts in Islamic history did happen, but like any other civilization, it was political, territorial, and sometimes economic. Religious was sometimes used to justify it, but that does not make it a religious teaching. This is very important to understand and to realize. The same distinctions apply today. Political violence is not the same as religious beliefs, right? The life of the non-Muslims in Islam is sacred. All lives are sacred in Islam. And that so sacred that saving one life is described in Islam as saving all humanity. Diversity also in Islam is not seen as a mistake, but it's intentional. In the Quran, Allah says, "We made you different nations and tribes so that you may know each other." Diversity opens a lot of doors and a lot of opportunities for us to know many new things in life. So it's a gift that we have to love and respect. Peace, therefore, includes mutual respect, coexistence, and dialogue. So this is what Islam offers today when it comes to talking about peace. It offers inner accountability, justice as a prerequisite for peace, mercy alongside law, community responsibility, dialogue over demonization. So peace in Islam is not passive, it's active, it's ethical, and deeply humane. This was my talk to you today. I have other slides that talks about some misconceptions, but I first thought of opening the floor if anyone have any questions, and if not, we can continue discussing some of the misconceptions about Islam. You are on mute.
Why don't you continue on with the misconceptions and then we'll give you some time to talk because we have quite a bit of time left.
Okay,
Okay, that would be good. Thank you.
thank you. So you don't need to be a Muslim to connect with these ideas, the accountability, the dialogue, the responsibility. It's a shared human project. We all, I think, agree on that. But if there is one message we can take away from today is that Islam does not ask the world to fear it. It asks the world to understand it, just as Muslims are asked to understand others. Why it's important to look at misconceptions? Misconceptions does not just distort understanding, it creates fear. But when we have dialogue together, this makes peace possible. And when entire faith is reduced to the action of a few, we lose the ability to see each other as human beings. So what are some misconceptions about Islam? Jihad, that means holy war. This is the misconception. Jihad means holy war. Second thing is that Islam is oppressive to women. and Sharia law is brutal and incompatible with peace. So let's take each one of them and talk about it. One of the most misunderstood words associated with Islam is jihad. In popular media, it's often translated as holy war, but that is not the primary meaning of it at all. Jihad, the primary meaning of it is simply struggle or effort. Prophet Muhammad described the greatest jihad as the struggle against one's own ego, anger, and moral weaknesses. This is jihad. This is the greatest jihad. And he distinguished between actually two types of jihad. Greater jihad, which is the personal self-discipline, your effort to bring self-discipline and to act ethically and to resist injustice without becoming yourself unjust. And the lesser jihad. The lesser jihad is the armed struggle only in self-defense. And it's highly restricted. Only armies would go and fight other armies. Civilians, children, religious leaders, and places of worship are explicitly protected when we fight our enemies. So reducing jihad to violence is like reducing peace to silence. It's the same thing. It misses the essence. So it's two types. It's inner struggle and it's self-defense. It's never a holy war. Women's rights in Islam. Well, women's rights in Islam is a serious concern, and women's oppression always is discussed in the media. Let's see what are the core Islamic principles about women that were introduced 1400 years ago. Women in Islam has the right to education, the right to own and inherit property, the right to consent to marriage, the right to divorce, the right to work and keep their income. What many people see as Islamic oppression is actually cultural practice, political control, patriarchy, but this is not a religious teaching at all. Take me as an example. I wear hijab, I'm practicing woman. I have master's and PhD. I traveled all over the world. I married the one I love. I was daddy's girl. I'm still a practicing woman. And I had my successful lived experience as a Muslim. Never at all was oppressed. Um, and there is a difference between, of course, what Islam teaches and how some Muslim societies practice it. Just as there is a difference between democratic values and how some democracies behave today. Correct? The Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him, said, the best of you are the best to their wives. And I am referring to himself as the best to my wife. Sharia law. Sharia simply means a path, a moral or an ethical framework, not a simple legal code. Harsh punishments, often highlighted in the media, are rare and are context specific that require extremely high legal standards. And many Muslim majority countries do not apply them because they are context specific. It's not easy to apply them because the conditions that requires them usually impossibly happen. What is Sharia is covering and what it's protecting? It's a law. It's protecting life, dignity, faith, family, property. And I think all of these are aligned with peace. So yeah, these were mainly the topics that I selected as being controversial and misunderstood about Islam, mainly in the media. And that's all for me today. And I would love to hear from you all your curious questions.
Thank you, Rawia. That was very resourceful on my part. And as the moderator for this part of our meeting, I'm looking at the clock And we will have a good 15 minutes for people to ask questions about the content that you presented to us. And if they have any comments or contents or questions on the content. So you may raise your hand. Amber, I see your hand is up.
Hi, thank you, Rawia, for sharing all that information with us. I'd like to know a little bit more about the hijab and what the significance of that is.
The hijab is it's an order by God. As we told, we surrender to God orders and advices, and it's mainly to protect women and that you show all the society around you your thoughts, your behavior, not your body, not your hair. It's a type of protection, type of obedience to God, and at the same time to show your character and personality, and so that people are not distracted with anything else than your inner values.
Okay, that's good. And then why is it different for women and men?
Why men do not cover their hair? Because women are seen as uh, uh, can attract other with the men with their beauty, but we are not attracted by men's beauty. So we need to cover our beauty so they are not distracted by it, and we can only focus on our personalities. But we will never, we are very rare that you would find a woman who is attracted with a man hair or his body and these things. But this is specifically to protect the woman.
Rawia, could you take down your PowerPoint?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Stop sharing.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Not only about hijab, it's also about the way you walk as a woman, the way you talk, the way you laugh. You have to preserve. It's a way of preserving the woman, so and protecting them in whatever and however she present herself. She has to wear modest clothes. She has to talk in a modest voice. Even her clothes, as she wears hijab, it still have to be modest colors, quiet, and with an etiquette. It's a big thing, not only cover the hair. Comes with behavior. So some women who wear hijab still are not considered as practicing women because they Muslims because their behavior does not match why they are covering your hair. So when you cover your hair, it has to come with other modesty. If these are not fulfilled, then you are not a good hijabi.
You said a good, what was the last word?
Hijabi. You are not a real practicing hijabi if this does not come up with other values as well.
Mhm.
Please, David.
Thank you. I saw that.
Yeah, thank you so
Sarah,
much for your
sorry.
presentation.
I saw
Oh,
that
sorry.
Sarah also had her hand up. So David, you can go, and then Sarah.
Oh, okay, sorry. So yeah, I really appreciated your presentation. I wondered about that. I appreciated especially the section on peace, and I was interested to hear maybe some personal examples of how you've been able to apply um, how inner peace impacts your life, and how, yeah, maybe a little bit about how you've seen that impact how you've been able to relate to in situations that might might require you might like there might be a tendency toward violence. Thanks.
I think I was so much influenced by the teachings of self-control and the saying that I brought to you from the Prophet: the strong person is not the one who can overpower others, but the one who can control themselves when angry. This one specifically, when I learned it, I was at school, at the primary school, and I thought of it a lot because especially kids, they can get angry when they play together or fight together quickly. And I thought of it when I maybe I was 7 years old. What did he mean by controlling the anger? How can I control my anger? And I even asked this question, what did he mean? And my teacher told me, you have to change your situation. The Prophet even explained it more, that if you felt angry, if you were sitting, stand up. If you're just standing, walk, take a breath, distract yourself with something. So yeah, by the self-control notion in specific, it helped me a lot. And I always remembered it when someone provoked me. Oh, here's when the Prophet talked about self-control, which it is difficult, but it is the most rewarding because it will bring the peace. Because whatever we had a conflict on, it will pass after a while, but we will only remember the bad words we say to each other, how this impacted our mental health and our health. But we were able to be patient and be strong on ourselves. This only when we will succeed. Patience is a very high valued also ethics in Islam, patience. And there's a lot of rewards for you if you practice patience. Self-control is a big thing. I think I'm still learning it until now, practicing. I think all of us, it applies to all of us. Mm.
Sarah, did you want to go next?
Thank you. Thank you, Rawia. I really appreciated hearing what you had to say. And I don't know a lot about Islam, but I do recognize that what we think it is and what it is different, as well as you said that it within any culture or any religion, there's different extremes, right? So my question, I have a two-part question on the hijab. The first part is, at what age do girls or young women start wearing it? I'm guessing puberty, but
Puberty.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
And my second question is, so what I do is we provide supplies in hospital to people
Mm-hmm.
who have been to see the nurse after violence, whether it's intimate partner, family, or sexual violence. And we do provide the nurses with some hijab, and we are starting to provide them with travel prayer mats as well. So if women do come and they need that, is there anything else that we could do to, first of all, encourage women and girls to get help if they have been treated with violence, to feel safe to come to hospital, and second, to provide them with any kind of cultural supports beyond the hijab and prayer mat?
So you are talking mainly about clients who face violence, family violence?
Yeah, so what happens is that if they've gone through any kind of violence, like family violence, sexual violence, intimate partner violence, and they go to get help at the hospital and they see the nurse, then we have supplies that we give the nurse, including hijab and prayer mats now. And so I'm wondering if there's anything else that we can provide them that might give them comfort, or another ways to let them know and raise awareness that there is help, that they don't have to live with that, to hopefully feel safer to get that support.
Mm-mm. Like any other person, they need to feel safe, someone to do like this, like any other person. Maybe what comes to my mind right now is just to offer the nurses themselves some training about the Islamic culture, because if they know more about women in Islam, maybe this will help them in opening the dialogue. Also, have some of the hire some of the nurses who comes from these cultures will help, of course, to make it easier to engage these kids or girls to talk safely. But I don't think ever that I heard from the community that women really don't see the nurses here who don't that they don't understand the culture. Sometimes the problems is with the kids
Yeah.
and the relationship with their families. And it's not because they are Muslims, because they come from different culture than the cultural Canadian. Sometimes the Canadian nurses, social workers do not understand the Arabic culture, and this makes misunderstandings and sometimes doubts that the parents are dealing with the kids in the proper way. But if we learn more about the cultures, and especially some of them come from rural Arabic countries, and they are different from those from the urban Arabic countries, this will make it easier. We need more awareness of the different cultures in general, not only Muslims, all the newcomers who come to us. We need more training programs. I would urge you to invite people like myself and others can teach what are the culture entails. And there are
Okay.
many beautiful things in the culture, and there are many strange things, but there are also many beautiful things. We can always see mutual things and come to an understanding of them.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, Carly, Sarah.
Yes, I was wondering about like when it comes to accessibility when it comes to the culture because some places, like I know New Brunswick is still playing catch up when it comes to being more accessible for people with different disabilities and that.
Uh, Maybe I didn't get the question clearly.
Uh, I'm not really sure exactly how to word the question, but for
For
me, I enjoy learning about the different sort of cultures and the different ways to make it.
where you can learn about it?
Oh, yes, and how can it be made accessible for, if, say, someone who has vision
Yes.
impairment or different accessibility needs in order to understand things?
We are trying in our new association, Manarat, to have some workshops about Muslim culture, Muslim values, so that we make it easier for the bigger community to understand the Islamic culture and the Muslim community. And we will announce them on our social media. And we'll ask Kathy, of course, to pass it through everyone here. Thank you very much for your interest.
Hello, can Anne Marie, can I speak now?
Yeah, Kathy, you go.
I was really impressed when you were talking about teaching children about self-control because it reminded me back to what Anne Marie is and Tammy Valriers are doing, saying that children as young as 3 and 4 and 5, we can teach them about self-control at that age. And people are saying, oh no, you have to teach them much longer, but it seems it's embedded in your religious practice as it is embedded in a lot of religious practices, but we're not calling people into maturity in
Yeah.
a lot of the Christian religious practices.
What I learned from reading the history is that some Muslim leaders, military leaders, they started to lead at the age of 15, which we all call it teenagers.
Mm.
There was no teenagers at that time. I think my battery is, I just want to look at my charger. Just a minute, please. Everything looks good. I don't know why I'm getting the message. Just a minute so that I don't lose you. So yes, they did not talk about teenager being a teenager. They treated the kids and in the teenager phases as adults, and they give them responsibilities, and the kids succeeded in them. We just need to go out of the box of consider the kids of that they are being of limited capabilities, and the teenagers are being controlled by their hormones. No, they can be taught a lot of things, and they will surprise us.
I also wondered if you would just talk a little bit before the time is coming to an end about the halal food fundraiser and
Thank
Marinette.
Thank you very much for bringing this. Yes, so our main core activity at the Manarat Association, Manarat, the beginning, it's the Arabic name for the lighthouse. We feel and believe that our mission is to help people to have an impact. So our core activity is the halal food fundraiser. We have around 35 ladies from newcomers and permanent residents Arabic region. I'm still having this. If I got logged off, I apologize, but I don't know why I'm getting this message. Anyway, so this is we organize it on a monthly basis. They cook and they donate 100% in the first year when it's 2 years now for the humanitarian aid. Now we change the model to encourage them to continue cooking and donating. Now they can donate between 25 and 100% of their return. We donate to the war zones in Gaza and Sudan, and we also donate inside Fredericton for the food bank, the Fredericton homeless shelters, and recently we donated to Harvey Food Bank because we wanted to go rural. We're having our next fundraiser next Sunday from 1:30 to 4:30 at the Culture Center. We love to see you there. Yes, Leif.
Well, thank you so much, Rawia. I think I speak on behalf of all of us here tonight when I say that it was very well spoken, and the education that you provided on inner and outer peace. I believe that we all got something from it, and that as a practicing and devoted Muslim, I learned a lot this evening, and I want to thank you. And um, in 2 weeks' time, we can gather again on Zoom so that we can converse about what is it that we've learned tonight and how can we apply it to ourselves in our own life or even as members of our club. So I really want to thank you, and may peace be with you.
You. I think
And I'm
Leif had a
now turning
question.
it to Kathy,
I think
our
Leif had a
business
question.
meeting.
Leif, do you have a question before we move on?
I did put, I hope it's a quick question because I only want to know the greatest need, but I know that Muslim teenagers that are for whatever reasons they've moved, they had to come to Fredericton, wherever they were from, and they're struggling in high school a bit socially. Is there something that, like, what's the greatest need there for teenagers? Like, how do we make them feel like more a part of the community? Is it like youth groups, or what would be helpful? Oh, she froze. I think we lost her. Yeah, I think her battery died.
Well, we'll move on, and if she can come back in, if you will keep an eye for her, Leaf, and
Right.
you come back in once she gets her battery back straightened out. Well, what a great presentation tonight. It certainly gave us a lot to think about, as it is being recorded, and so I will send it out to all in attendance. And from there, we will prepare for in 2 weeks. So as we can think about the presentation, we can think what surprised us, what did we learn, what other questions do we have that maybe weren't answered but come up later in our mind that we could send and ask Rawia. And then we want to talk, how can we respond as individuals or as a collective? What are some of the things that we can do to help integrate newcomers who are Islamic into our community and in a better way, in a more effective way? So those are all things that we can think of. There are some things coming up that I wanted to mention to you. First of all, this Saturday at 8:30 to 11 in Upper Kingsclear Community Center, there is a fundraiser for the coldest night of the year. And Tim Fox and Susan Jonah from the Hanwell area have invited us to have a Rotary display there at that event. And of course, it's for as many as possible to come out and take part in that breakfast and fundraiser for them. As Rawia mentioned, the Hello Food fundraiser is Sunday, the 8th from 1:30 to 4. And I would suggest you go early because there's tons of people. And if you have something special you want, they might not have enough of it because they seem to be selling left, right, and center. And it's really, really good. On the 11th from 7 to 8, the executive of the club are meeting. On the 14th, I just got word from Asif and Alicia. They've just got on a plane. They had to move out of the lounge, and so they couldn't come on, but they apologized for that. But they have been in England, and then they've been in Morocco, and they're in some airport now coming home. But they wanted us to know that they're having a speaker's corner in their backyard coming up on the 16th. And they are excited because they've had some experiences in Hyde Park in the last little while and with the speaker's corner. And so they thought that Fredericton needed a place where all voices could come together and marginalized voices could be heard talking about whatever the topic is. So they're having a pop-up speaker's corner on the 14th. The 16th to the 20th is Kindness Week. We haven't yet decided what we're going to do. We've done things last year. We gave a lot. We had a surprise visit, a number of us, to the transition house and left them with a lot of materials so that they could make they could have a nacho party. And so we left a lot of treats for them. What are we going to do this year? So if a bunch of us can get together and figure out what it is we'd like to do, and hopefully we'll come up with some things for that time period. As Anne Marie said, on the 23rd to the 24th, you can sign on at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and at 10 a.m. in the morning, which is 2 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, and go from 10 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time to the next day, 24th at 10 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. And there'll be a series of countries. In that time period, they'll visit over 50 countries in the world where Rotary is, and Rotary will be telling all about the projects that they're about. And some of those projects will be done with other entities, like other organizations. They'll be addressing things in the world and working with Rotary partners. And that's from the 23rd to the 24th. On the 23rd at 5 p.m. Atlantic time is when the Canada hour comes on. And I am coordinating it for the whole of Canada for all the projects that we are having. So we will visit Atlantic Canada, will visit Eastern Canada, Central Canada, Mountain Canada, and Pacific Canada during our 60-minute time. And of course, as Anne-Marie said, our project, Game Changers Atlantic Project, Raising Peaceful Kids, will be the first project highlighted. And it'll be followed by one in Labrador, where they're doing home-based dialysis in northern Labrador. And then we'll move along to Eastern Canada after that. So it promises to be a great time. This is the first time that Canada has been featured in it. And so we're very proud to be able to say to the rest of the world, we're Canada and at Rotary, and these are the wonderful things we're doing. I want to remind you that the conference is coming up in May, and the last weekend in May, and it's in Shediac, New Brunswick. I would, as soon as we can register, I would encourage you to do so and to get our hotel rooms so that, and let us know where you booked hotel rooms so we can book along with you because I think there's not as many hotel rooms in Shediac as there are in Moncton, for example. So that would be really good. And then there is the convention coming up in June. And the convention is in Taipei, if you would like to register for that. Next meeting, as we said, is the follow-up meeting when we get to discuss, but the first Thursday in March, we will be discussing WASH, water, and I forgot.
Is it sanitation?
Sanitation and hygiene. And David Bach, who is here with us tonight, and Lemlem Kabibi will be talking about that with us because they both have years of experience working as project managers for WASH in different parts of the world. And so that's all the announcements that I have. Is there any other announcements that I've forgotten? Okay, Mitchell.
Nope, just excited for all that great announcement.
Oh, yeah, they are. We've got a lot of things going. And Mitchell has already said that he's going to do something for Kindness Week. And so he's sort of going to coordinate that for us. So if you have any ideas of what we can do, please get to touch with Mitchell because I'll be going kind of crazy at that time trying to get all these videos, these 10-minute videos from different parts in Canada in and ready for showing on the 23rd and the 24th.
What is the February theme for Rotary? I forget.
The February theme is peace, but Anne-Marie, can you say the total name for it? So it's
it is called Peace Prevention and Conflict Resolution Month.
It's a good month.
It's a beautiful month. The best for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in April, we will be, Leaf will be looking after a presentation for us for April on the environment. And then in May, we will have the geocaching. And then in June, we'll be having, Leaf will be doing some talking about the year ahead and some plans for that. We'll also be swearing in the new executive. We'll be inducting the new executive that will come in. So everyone should be thinking what role they want to play in the year ahead because we need people to take responsibility for different aspects of our Rotary program. So please be thinking about what role you would like to take on in the year ahead or what role you'd like to continue on because we're just getting organized. And so we've got a lot of structure to put in place as we go through it. So it does take more than normal. So if rather than just staying on 1 year, perhaps people might stay on 2 or 3 for that. But I am kind of excited that I'll be moving to past president. That's a great place for me to move to. So it's 7:58. Let me just put us all in speaker view here. Not moving. Why is it not moving? There we go. So we're in gallery view now. So if everybody wants to turn on their video so we can say goodnight to each one of, please.
Can I make a little plug?
Yes.
With Kindness Week coming up, it actually is coinciding with Chocolat Moncton and Southeast New Brunswick again. So, and I've changed the beneficiary this year. So for the Hot Chocolate Festival in Southeast New Brunswick, the beneficiary is going to be Ability New Brunswick. So we're going to have the ability to impact more people around the whole province. And yeah, so if you happen to be in the Southeast New Brunswick region, right now we have places in Moncton, Shediac, and Dieppe that have a hot chocolate registered in the festival. 50 cents from every cup sold is going to go to Ability New Brunswick. So thanks for letting me share that.
That is so wonderful. And I went last year, and Anne Marie and I had hot chocolate somewhere along the way, and Amber and I had hot chocolate somewhere else along the way. So we had a great time. I don't think Sherry could come and visit us, but really a nice festival and so much fun. And I also want to talk with Sarah here to mention that we had so much fun at Snow Much Fun. It was a blast, and we have to give a round of applause to Mitchell, who did a fantastic job as the MC and as an auctioneer. It was the best auctioneer I've ever heard. Obviously, he was. But then when he picked up the fiddle and we all danced to that, I can't tell you. I mean, he just was the star of the evening, or I should say, Amor Love was the star of the evening, but the talent was just oozing out. So here comes Rawia back in.
I'm going to hold my question.
Okay. Let's see if she got back in. Do you see her?
She's joining. It just says joining though. Maybe her internet connection is having problems.
I just hate for us all to leave and her to ride back. There she is. Can you turn on your video, Rawia, or maybe not? Anne Marie, do you want to?
Oh, no, she's there.
It shows she's there, but it's still a black screen.
Yeah.
Oh, there she's gone now. Oh no, it says she's there. It says her video's on, but it's
Maybe she's in a darkened room. Anyway, Anne Marie, would you like to thank?
You'd like to what?
Would you like to thank our speaker?
Well, I did it already, Kathy.
I am here.
Okay, Rawia. Once again, I want to thank you for being with us this evening. And it was very resourceful. You shed a lot of light on inner and outer peace. And I want to say peace to all.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for
Good
coming.
night.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye, everyone. Wonderful session.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Oh, February 15th to 28th. Who asked me that? I just caught that. Mary Ellen. Okay. Yeah, February 15th to 28th. Sorry, I didn't mention that when I spoke.